Greetings, distinguished guests. I am Teranz, and welcome to more Werewolf Heart of the Forest. Last time we went for a bike ride in the woods, ran into some hunters, learned that we are indeed a werewolf. Some tragedy struck, and now we are going to see a vision of either the past, the present, or the future. Learn your family history. Pursue to gain willpower. Find your... Alright, so based off of my goals, I think the barrows to the past is what I need to see, as much as I would love to see the future. The tangled paths. It was hard to find the barrows, although I knew where they were. When I looked behind me, the path had disappeared. Puzeza is friendly. I felt the Puzeza playing with me, twisting paths, blocking my way with bushes and dead trees, and then suddenly opening a new path that was straight and full of sunshine. But I pushed on. Determined, I pushed on. Since the change, I had become acutely aware of how my body worked. I remembered what humans were good at: running. Stubborn, relentless, long-distance running. Not as fast as deer, not as nimble as a wolf, but steady and without rest. So I ran. Then I was there. And then I was there. The barrows. I climbed the nearest hill. When I was at the top, I stumbled upon something. A shape in the grass, a skull, watching me from its bleached eye sockets. I touched it. Buried past. There is a swirl. It starts deep within me and then it expands. Everything is in motion. There's no center anymore. I see a forest. I run among the trees and suddenly I see a hamlet. Where a clearing once was. My howl is like a keen. Keen? I am not sure the context of that sentence. Anyway. The houses are mere huts. There's almost nothing that protects the people from the forest. Their clothes are rags. Their feet are bare. Their hair is long and beards are unkempt. There are wolf cubs. Then there is blood. Then the howling begins. The mournful, blood-curdling keen of a mother who has lost her children. Watch, a voice whispers in my head. Watch and remember. But I want to act. But I cannot just stand by and watch. I want to act. I draw glyphs with the wolf cub's blood and pray for retribution. The forest listens to me. The forest wakes up, erupts with rage, and powerful furred bodies surge through the trees towards the village. The humans are trying to escape. They scream and beg for mercy. They try to protect themselves with fire. Take the fire from their hands. The Garu rise up, their talons red with blood, their eyes glaze with fury, and the fire is yanked from the hands of the villagers. They burn their houses. The houses start to burn. I make the wolf mother happy. The kenning turns into a howl of joy. I am there from the very beginning. The Garu have my eyes, my face, they are my family. I am the blood of their blood. I am part of the story from the very beginning. I will do it again. And then it happens again. Humans return. They rebuild the village, this time stronger and better protected. The kenning begins once more. We, the Garu, come down on them like wolves on the fold. And again. And again. New villages, new fires. More blood. Don't want to do this anymore. But the kenning begins again. My heart fills with grief and rage, and villages burn. Until one day there's only one Garu left in the family. And he slays his own kindred in a fit of his first rage. I know him. He's young, but I recognize someone in him. An old man I know. He used to tell me stories about the forest before my mother took me away. Can't move. I stay there and watch, but I can't move. My throat burns, my stomach is in knots. I want to scream, but I have no mouth. I feel the fire, I smell the blood. I smell ashes and tears. I see the large ash gray wolf looking straight at me. Her eyes are golden, she weeps. It is in your blood, she says to me. It is your duty, it is you. Come with me, child, be my fangs and claws. There is no one else to be my cub. Come to me, child. I will nurse you and I will lick your wounds. We will kill together, we will feast, and we will be merry. The forest will grow. I looked at her. And perhaps for the first time I saw her for who she was. Her pelt was marred with fire. Her eyes were smoking embers. Ash was falling from her heaving flanks. She looked old, ancient, sad, alone. She was mourning incarnate. She was the very idea of mourning made flesh, driven by a feeling of loss so profound that it burned everything in its wake. But she was also more than that. She was also the spirit of the forest, the Possessa herself, wounded, hurt, violated in mourning, all her children that humans had killed. At least that's what I thought when I looked at her. The wolf mother looked back at me, and something in her eyes made me realize that she was helping my family for generations, and that my family used to serve her. Join me, she pleaded. Only you can understand me. Only you. I went to her. And she accepted me. And I accepted myself. And finally, I understood who I was. Darkness fell again, and a bloody tide was loosened upon the world. Darkness. A lone howl pierced the silence like a single ray of moonlight in the darkness. And there was another one, and then another, and then another. Choir of voices, triumphant and joyful. I opened my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I was in a clearing. Around me there were wolves. Huge, monstrous wolves howling at the moon. Low. In a moment of bittersweet reflection, I understood that my old life was over. Maia the student was part of the past. My present, my future was now forever linked to what happened in the forest. Well, hello there, Cornell smiled at me, and welcome to the Sept. The what? I have no idea what you're talking about, I snapped, angry and confused. For a werewolf, the pack is family, Cornell explained, and an alliance of packs united in a common goal is a sept. So there were 2 packs there. I realized there must be at least 2 packs there. Man. I look at Olga. 3 of the monstrous wolves changed. Olga and Lisa stood up, human looking again, their clothes rumpled. A yellow-eyed wolf by their side turned out to be Daniel. We are the pack of the mourning wolf mother, said Olga. They smelled of ash and tears, and for a moment I saw the wolf spirit among them. I look at Cornell. A gray-eyed wolf changed into Cornell, and soon Pat and Kim joined him. We are the winter weasel pack, said Kim. A white shadow settled on Pat's shoulder. I smelled the musk and electricity. We are all Gaia's soldiers, said Cornell, and that we have no choice, but we can choose whom we fight alongside. Why the animal spirits? Does every pack have an animal spirit, I asked? How does that work? Such spirits are called patrons. And not all are animals, Lisa explained. Our pact with them gives us additional weapons with which to fight the sickness and corruption of the worm. The last word reeked of decay and burning oil. Did I have to join a pack? Do I have to choose a pack, I asked, just to make sure? No Gauru can survive on their own, Cornell said with sympathy. Your old human life is over, but we will never abandon you. I had so many questions. I have so many questions, I shook my head. What about the moon? Why did I hear the moon whispering to me, I asked. Luna gave us rage. That's why she's important, Olga said. And that's why you'll never be able to touch silver again. It's every sept that diverse. You're from all over Europe, I noticed. Is this like a standard for a sept? I looked at Olga. I didn't even know if that was a stupid question or a smart one. I looked at Olga. Normally, the tribes keep to themselves, Olga grimaced. But we are in a desperate situation and had to form rather unorthodox alliances. There are at least a dozen tribes, Daniel interrupted, and I hope, Maia, that you will choose yours wisely. How did the spirits work? What about the spirits, I asked. How does that work? The world casts a shadow, and we call it the Umbra, said Lisa. And every shadow, every living creature, every emotion and idea, every important object exists as a spirit. That's all you need to know at the moment. I summed it up. So if I got this all right, I've been conscripted into an ancient war against the worm, I said slowly, trying to put it all together. And the moon gave me rage as a weapon, but I must avoid silver. I took a breath. And there's a whole secret world of spirits, I continued, and I have to join a pack and choose a tribe. Exactly, Lisa nodded. As for tribe, there are two people who could mention you now. Olga is of the Black Furies. An ancient tribe of warrior women, in Cornell is from Children of Gaia. Peace with human. Alright. And he is a more of a peace and harmony kind of guy. What about my family's tribe? Shadow of Feathers. Hey, what about my family's tribe? I asked. Lisa winced. Daniel sighed. Olga shook her head. What's the matter? What's the matter? I asked again. Your ancestors were the Get of Fenris, and no one here wants to have anything to do with that tribe, Cornell answered. They stand against everything we believe in. Were they really that bad? They surely aren't that bad, I asked. Are they? The Gets of Fenris are the most radical Garu supremacists that ever marred the face of the earth. Kim scoffed. Like legit fascist werewolves. Some of them literally worked for Hitler. I had the right to know my legacy. Thank you for telling me, I said. I had the right to learn about where I came from. For a moment, we were all silent. There were a lot of werewolves there. One thing is bugging me, I said. Why are there so many of you here? Suddenly everyone is a werewolf. Suddenly everyone in the village is a werewolf or what? You know nothing, Cub, Olga laughed bitterly. A mere century ago, there were dozens of packs in these forests. But none of the old guards survived the 90s, Lisa shook her head. We had to start from scratch. Till you showed up, there were only 6 of us, and 3 of us not even local, Cornell pointed out. 2 packs too small for their own good. I needed to know more about the tribes. I wanted to learn more about the tribes and find an option that would really resonate with who I am. Talk with Daniel. I asked Daniel if I could join his tribe, but he didn't understand the question. I'm a red talon, he said. As if that explained everything. What exactly were the red talons? What are the red talons? I asked Daniel. Is the tribe of the Garu, who are born as wolves, Daniel explained. We usually don't mix with others, and we kill humans. But since I am the only one here, I decided that it was better to join the rest. It was a wise decision. It's better to have a pack than to be alone, I said. You're not. There's always strength in numbers. I protect my folks better when there are more wolves around. Your folks? Wolves. I started to get who he was. Daniel sniffed the air. His nostrils moved in a way that was in a very non-human way. I was looking in. I was looking enthralled. Was he a wolf? Are you a wolf? I asked. He made a face. We all are. I could see what he wanted to say. You're right, I agreed. We run and hunt together, but my experiences were different than yours. He tilted his head and looked at me. Yes, I was born a wolf and then it turned out I was not only a wolf, I was disgusted. You know, going around on two legs, soft and helpless. Who really wants that? I didn't want to have anything to do with humans, but Lisa comes one day and she talks to me and brings me to Olga, and I think, well, they are not that bad, and they have stuff. Stuff is nice. I like stuff. He sniffed the wind again. Besides, I can show them the Kuzessa the way I see it, the way wolves see it. Once they see it like that, they never come back to their old ways. Ask him about the wolf mother. The morning wolf mother. The morning wolf mother? Daniel fell silent for a moment. She was a wolf once, but then people captured her cubs and made them poster children for the national park. She died and became a spirit. I knew she was older than that. It's impossible, I said. She must be older. Much, much older. Daniel looked up and then shrugged. If you say so, he answered. I still like her. She knows what it means to be a wolf. That was all I wanted from him. Thanks, that was all I wanted from him. Talk with Lisa. I asked Lisa about her tribe, but she inherited the Sibirak legacy from her Buryat grandfather. And she said I didn't know the proper legends, customs, and cultures to join. I asked her about the wolf mother. What about the morning wolf mother? I asked. She's mighty and powerful. There was a tone of deep respect on Lisa's voice. Who was she? Tell me more, I asked. She's old, very old. We don't know when she first appeared here. I think she's the avatar of the forest. But what did she want? But what does the wolf mother want from us? I asked. I keep asking myself the same question. Lisa halted, looking for words. She knows how to find her way to people's heads. Lisa looked at me for a moment, deciding what to say next. I respect her sometimes, but I think she gets into Olga's head too much. Olga lets her in, and the wolf pushes. And now I don't know. Maybe it's the right way to do things now? I knew that. She's been talking to me a lot, I admitted, and I agreed to help her. Was Sibirak a Russian word? No, so I wasn't sure how to approach the topic. Sibirak. I mean, you're from Siberia. I hesitated, and Lisa's bird. But the tribe of the name reminds me of something. Yes, Sibirak. She pronounced the word differently, so it sounded like a Polish word. I must have heard it before. I'm sure I've heard it before in a different context. In Russian, it means someone from Siberia, but in Polish, it has its own very specific meaning, Lisa explained. It's a word for a political prisoner exiled to Siberia, and there are tens of thousands of them. Which meaning did she prefer? Which meaning do you identify with, Polish or the Russian? I asked. Lisa smiled. My tribe name describes both of my legacies. My granny was a political exile, and my grandpa was a Siberian indigenous. I use it because it speaks the truth. That's all I wanted from her. Thanks, that's all I needed to know at the moment. Talk with Kim. I only cost one, so it's good. Kim told me a lot about Bonars. Bonars stand for the right before homes. Let's class camps. Alright. Urban werewolves fighting for the disadvantaged and the marginalized children. Marginalized children of the rats. Did they really have a rat patron? Do you really have a rat as a tribe patron? I asked. We sure do, Kim answered. It's a very good patron. Resilient. You want to be like a rat. They always manage. They're always a man. Oh man, words. Always managing, always afloat. They kept talking. That's why the Bonars protect every single Gaia's child, no matter how small, because we are all valid. They sighed heavily. Now tell it to the other Garu, and they look down on you because you're a Bonar, and they think they are superior. Prejudice is everywhere. I didn't want to talk anymore. Anyway, before you're admitted to a tribe, you need to prove yourself. What now? Prove myself? I was shocked. Hadn't I proven myself enough already? Rite of passage. Went through your first change, Pat said. She was laying on a nearby tree, and you know everything you need to know at the moment. But now you have to go through the rite of passage, Shanna rubbed against my leg, excited. A vision quest, Kim winked at me. And since we don't have time for tests, we need you to solve a real problem, Olga stepped in. Namely, we want you to find a way of ending this logging problem. So how would you like to do it? They all looked at me in anticipation. And this is where I'm going to stop for the day. I've been going about 13% every time, so next will be 84. 90, yeah. So judging by this, I've got about 2 more episodes left, so I'll probably extend out the last one based off of rate. But anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time with more Werewolf Heart of the Forest.